Right, so tonight's call is going to be all about posting on social media, specifically Facebook, because that's what we're talking about tonight. You can take this with whatever platforms you use. If you use Instagram, whatever, you can take this and use it for that. We're just specifically talking about Facebook tonight. So if you guys want to have a successful Beachbody business, you have to get good at posting on social media, period. It is just, you have to have a good social media presence. You have to have a clear, like what you're posting on your page needs to be clear to people. It needs to be easy to follow. And you have to have a good social media presence. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not telling you guys that you have to have professional pictures and you have to have a branding coach with all these pretty scheme of colors and things like that. You don't have to have that, but you do have to have a consistent, you have to have consistency on your social media, and you have to have a social media presence. It's important. It's something that some coaches want to avoid or they want to push off to the side. And I'm telling you right now, there's been a couple things that have brought up this topic, but I've been really kind of sitting back and watching different coaches and studying things. And I can tell you that most of the time when I hear coaches saying that they're struggling in the business, they're not where they want to be, they're not successful, or anything along those lines, I can go to their social media pages and it's not good. They're not consistent, and it's just not what I'm going to talk about tonight. So just know that if you want to be successful in the business, it's just one of those things. You know, social media is our platform, guys. It's where we work our business from, okay? It is what it is. It's nothing to get stressed out about. It's nothing to avoid. It would be like you holding a 9-to-5 job and being like, I'm not going to go to my job. I'm not going to do my job. I'm going to do it from home when I'm not allowed to do it from home. The fact of the matter is we work from home and our presence is on social media. That's what we use. That is our job site, okay? So just think of it that way if it makes you feel better. If you're one of those people that's like, oh, I feel guilty because I'm on social media all day long or whatever. I feel weird because I'm on social media, whatever it is, whatever feelings you have that are holding you back in your head, just go ahead and get rid of those and just tell yourself, this is my job. This is my job, okay? And at the end of the day, I would rather post on social media than have to go back to having that 9-to-5 job that I worked my butt off not to have to go to, okay? And I know a lot of you still hold that 9-to-5 job, and some of you, that might not be your goal, is to quit that. But my point is that there's always like little sacrifices or things that we might have to do in order to have what we want, okay? So, yeah, being on social media all the time wasn't fun for me. You know, it was out of my comfort zone. I wasn't somebody that posted a lot about my life on social media when I first started coaching. It was something that I had to get used to, and I had to move out of my comfort zone and start doing. But I just started telling myself, the more I do it, the more my business will grow. And the more I'll be able to really accomplish those goals and those dreams that I have in my life. Okay, so look at it that way. So I wanted to kind of bring up, like I said, there's a couple things that prompted this call. I was actually going to do this call last week, but then with it being Valentine's Day, it was a little bit too crazy. But something happened last night that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about before we dive into what we're going to do on this call. So I'm in the coach test group for 80-Day Obsession. A lot of you are in there as well. So you might have actually seen this post that I'm going to talk about. But last night, okay, so there's like 30,000 something coaches in there. Some of them are actually coaches who work the business. A lot of them are just people who I think signed up to be a coach to be in the group, which is fine, whatever. So it's kind of like a wide variety of coaches in this group. But one coach put up a post that said something along the lines of, I've been doing this for 3 years. I've been I don't want to totally butcher her words. I've been, she didn't say consistent, but basically said that like she's been doing it consistently. She's been putting her heart into it. And she invites, she reaches out to people, and she named like a couple other things. And she's like, but nobody ever commits. Nobody ever like actually goes through with it. And I am like totally unsuccessful in this business. And she was asking for like advice or whatever. So I see this post and it catches my attention, and I'm like, okay, you've been doing this for 3 years and you're inviting and you're being consistent like you're saying, but you're not seeing success. And I'm like, okay, something is wrong. You're missing something. So I went first in the comments and I started reading through the comments because I'm like, I want to see what other coaches are going to say. And the majority of the comments were other coaches going, yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Then there was one coach who said, me too. And I am not a, how did she word it? I am not a pushy or salesy person. So I think that's my downfall. And I'll be honest, I read that comment and I was like, I'm like, you think you're not successful because you're not pushy or salesy, you know? And I just wanted to be like, no, like, don't be pushy or salesy. Like, if you think that people are successful because they're pushy or salesy, you're crazy. That's not how it works. But so I was reading through the comments and a lot of them were like the same thing, like things along those lines, you know? And I don't fault any of them, by the way. I don't fault any of these coaches, but some of my thoughts, first of all, I'm like, do you guys have an upline? Like, do you have somebody that's helping you? Then my other thought was, have you listened to anything your uplines told you to do? Have you watched training videos? Have you done any of this? Because obviously you're missing something. And a lot of times it just amounts to coaches not wanting to put it in the work, but they want to sit back and complain. And whatever, if that's what they're going to choose, that's what they're going to choose. But I don't feel like any of you guys have that mentality. I feel like most of you really, truly do want this. So we're going to talk about it. Okay. So I went through, and the person that posted the original post, and then the girl that said that she's not pushy or salesy, I took a couple minutes. It was pretty late at night, so I didn't spend too long on it, but I took a couple minutes and I briefly looked through both of their profiles. So I'll tell you, first of all, the girl who said that she's not pushy or salesy enough, her profile was so private that I could not see hardly anything about her except maybe like 2 pictures, and then her profile picture. So that's one thing right there. She's complaining about not being successful, not having any success, yada, yada. And her profile is so private that if she gets a referral or somebody stumbles on her page, they can't even see anything about her. So they're instantly going to turn around and walk the other direction. And I just feel like if I was in the position where I'm feeling really unsuccessful and really confused, you know, I would probably be diving in and kind of opening it up and doing anything I could to see success. Okay. So that was hers. And then I went through the lady that did the original post, and I can tell you that her social media page was, what's the right word I'm looking for? It was awful, but I don't mean that in like a mean way. I'm like not dissing her or anything like that, because like I said, maybe nobody's ever told her these things. Maybe she really doesn't know. Okay. But her social media Facebook page was awful. And of course, I went through and I gave her my advice, and I made like a little bullet list for her of things to work on. But I also made a little bit of a list tonight for you guys that a couple things that I noticed that I wanted to point out. Okay. So these are all things that she was messing up on, and things that I want to point out to you guys in case you need to change these things. And I also want to let you guys know that when I first started doing this, okay, I can sit here now today and tell you, like, I've kind of figured out social media and my page is probably okay. I might have days that, you know, that are off here and there. But when I first started doing this, guys, that was not the case, okay? So I was like the person that would put up these hideous pictures and I would like post my link like flat across them and I'd make that my profile picture and I did everything wrong in the beginning. So don't beat yourself up if you're doing these things. That's how we learn. You dive in, you learn, and you fix it and you move on. So, all right. First of all, your profile picture needs to have you in it. Okay. So they say ideally you want your profile picture to be only you. I go back and forth. Sometimes my profile picture is only me. A lot of times it's me and Tyler. And that is because it might sound kind of weird, but that is just me. Like that's how I've always been. I've never been the person who was in my profile picture by myself. It's always kind of been me and Tyler. So that's just kind of me. So it's something that I don't really change. However, my like page, my Facebook like page is only me because that is more like my fitness business page versus, you know, just being my personal like lifestyle page. So your profile picture needs to have you in it, okay? And it needs to be clear, which means that people need to be able to see you. Like they need to be able to look at your profile picture and be able to tell what you look like, okay? That means that it can't be dark. Like it can't be so dark that people like, it needs good lighting, okay? People need to be able to see you, okay? It's simple. It can't be dark. It can't be blurry. It can't be like a super blurry picture where people can't really filter through to tell what you look like. And ideally, you really don't want like some like crazy filter or something like that that really kind of doesn't show what you look like, okay? So you want your profile picture to have you in it and you want people to be able to tell what you look like. So this lady's profile picture was actually like a quote. It was the one that said like, be a pineapple and stand tall or whatever. And that was her profile picture. So that was one of the first things I pointed out to her. Your profile picture needs to be you. It needs to have you in it, okay? The next thing is your Facebook page needs to be decluttered, okay? Her Facebook page was so cluttered. That was probably my number one complaint about her Facebook page. Even being a coach and knowing what I was going in there to look for, I had a really hard time finding it on her page, and I'll kind of explain that. So the best way that I can really describe it to you guys when I say declutter your Facebook page is kind of think of it like your Facebook or your social media. Like I said, I'm going to keep talking about Facebook because that's what we're talking about tonight. But in general, any of your social media outlets that you use are your storefront, okay? Like they're your storefront of your business. So I like to think of it like, okay, who goes into Forever 21 and it feels like you are completely overwhelmed and you don't even know where to look or what to look for because there's just like random pieces of clothing everywhere and there's like no color system. You don't know like what you're looking for. And it's funny because I like a lot of Forever 21's clothes. Like I really kind of like their clothes, not like the really weird, crazy stuff, but I like the simple cloth, you know, shirts and workout clothes and things like that. But I walk into Forever 21 and I'm like, holy crap, I don't even know where to start. If I was to look through this store, I would be in here for 5 hours. I ain't got the time for this. I can't do it. Like I can't find what I'm looking for and it completely overwhelms me. And I feel like it's just this freaking cluttered mess. And next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I'm walking out. Then I think about Target. And this was probably not the best example. I'm sure there's other stores out there that are better, but I don't do a ton of in-store shopping. I do most of my shopping online. But I think about Target, and I can go into Target, and I can easily find what I'm looking for. I'm trying to read my notes. Oh, and I can easily tell right away if it's something that appeals to me or not. Okay, that's another thing. I go into Forever 21 and it's all cluttered and there's so many different styles of clothing that I'm like, I don't know what group to go to. I don't know what group I like, you know. I can walk through Target and I can scan the aisles or the bathing suits or whatever, and I can look and go, oh, that's maternity section, not for me. This is more of like the 9-to-5 job, like sophisticated look. That's not what I'm looking for today. Oh, here's the cute little basic girl t-shirts that have quotes about coffee on them. There we go. That's what I'll look for. So it's easy to first of all, find right away what I want. It's easy to tell right away if this is something I want to be involved in, if this is, you know, if this person is appealing to me, okay? So you're thinking of it as your storefront. So you're going to be able to tell right away, is this person appealing to you? Are they somebody that you want to work with? Are they somebody that, you know, excites you, somebody you could get along with? So you want people to be able to come to your profile and you want them to be able to tell that about you right away, quickly, okay? So, for instance, some of the things that were on her profile that just made it completely cluttered. Random videos of things, just like random videos. A bunch of different random like memes and things like that. Like shared articles that were about all kinds of different stuff. So with these things, it's okay to share these things occasionally, but you need to make sure that they're relevant to you and what you're trying to portray to people. I don't know what Tyler's texting me. Drinks, question mark. I don't know what that means. Anyways, so you need to make sure that the things that you're sharing are relevant to you. So you guys will not see me sharing like random articles very often. However, if I come across an article that I read and it's like about being a mom and it totally hits home for me and I'm like, yes, like I could have written that article by myself or whatever, I might share that. So another example, the other day, somebody tagged me in a video about slime. Some of you might have saw it. It was like that family that makes songs about slime. And it was completely relevant to my life, down to the fact that Sadie literally just had slime in her hair the other day. And I actually posted on social media asking people how to get it out. So that video like was super relevant to my life and I found it funny and I could relate to it. And I knew that like the other moms in my market could relate to it. So I shared that. But you don't need to be sharing like multiple articles and memes and videos. Like you don't need to be sharing those daily because it's too hard to filter through. First of all, it's not coming from you. So it's hard for people to kind of get a feel for you. If you're sharing all these different random ones that aren't relevant to you. The other thing is when somebody comes to your profile and the majority of your posts are like shared videos, articles, things like that, they might get the vibe that you're like somebody that sits on Facebook all day and scrolls and reads articles and watches videos and shares those and does it over and over all day long. And I'm going to tell you guys that that's fine if you want to be like a hobby coach. And first of all, if you're doing that behavior, that's fine if you want to be a hobby coach. But if you're wasting that much time watching videos that are random and don't relate to, they're not things that are going to move you further in life, and you're reading all these random articles and you're spending hours of your day doing that, you're wasting valuable time that you could be putting into your business or other areas that are lacking that you need to tend to in your life. And anybody who comes to your page who is serious about wanting to start a business and work a business is probably not going to be attracted to that behavior. They're probably actually going to feel like you're rather lazy. And I don't say that to be like mean or harsh or anything like that. I'm just telling you that the impression that gives off, okay? So make sure that if you're sharing that kind of stuff, it's only every now and then. Also make sure, like I said, that you don't find yourself falling into that trap where you're wasting so much time watching that stuff. If you want to be watching videos, go watch a personal development video. That's not to say not to ever take a brain break and release. That's fine, but don't be spending hours every day doing it. And the other thing is, when it comes to decluttering, try not to post like too many pictures at one time. Like, for instance, if you go to Disney World, you take your kids to Disney World, and you take a picture of them going on every single ride at Disney World. We all do it, right? Like, that's what we do. And that's great. And keep those pictures for yourself. But maybe take like one or two that like really stood out to you that you really liked and share those pictures. Don't necessarily post all 50 of them at once. And that's not to say that you guys can't ever post like a lot of pictures at once. Maybe if it's like a big event that you really want to share about or something along those lines, you can post it and just kind of put it in its own album. But you have to remember that when you post a lot of pictures at once and you do it from your mobile uploads or you do it from your cell phone, it's going to go into your mobile uploads album in your Facebook. And what happens is when new people come to your page, normally the first thing they do is they scroll your feed for a minute, and then they click on your pictures and they go to your mobile uploads, because most of us, that's the one that we put most of our pictures in at a time, and they scroll that. So if you have 50 pictures of your kids at Disney in that mobile uploads album, then they might get bored or they might get distracted and go, okay, I'm going to go look at something else. And then they miss the pictures of you talking about your life and you talking about your workouts and you talking about all the other stuff that you want to portray to people. So just kind of keep that in mind. Turn that down a little bit, bub. And then the next thing that I noticed, okay, whoever that is, turn it down. You need to have emotion on your page. People need to be able to come to your profile and they need to be able to see some type of emotion. They need to be able to see some type of emotion. They need to be able to feel some type of emotion. You don't want people to come to your Facebook page and just feel like it's just this like complacent, like, nothing. And a couple things I noticed on this lady's profile is there was not much emotion in any of her pictures. There was like a straight face before and after picture, you know, with nothing telling anything. Your pictures need to have a description. You need to be able to tell your audience something. You guys got to remember that when you're posting, you're sharing about your journey. You're sharing about your life. So essentially you are telling your audience, these people that are coming to your Facebook page, you're telling them a story, okay? So you need to give them emotion and you need to give them a story. You need to put captions on your photos that talk about things. You need to go a little bit more in depth into things. Now, I'm not saying that you need to write a novel on every single one of your posts, because we all know that, you know, you want to keep most of your posts pretty short and sweet and then have a long one here and there. But people need to be able to feel something from you. So, for example, something that I see a lot of coaches do, and it's something I used to do too, you'll post a picture of like working out and it'll be like, just finished week 1, day 2, and that's the only caption. Or it'll be like Flex Friday and that's it. And that's fine to do on occasion, but when you just say to somebody, just finished week 1, day 2, and that's it, they don't know. That doesn't mean anything to them. That doesn't mean anything to them. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know what week 1 means. Instead, tell them how you're feeling, what it's doing for you. How did you feel in week 1 versus week 2? Talk to them, give them emotion, give them things that they can follow and get excited about. Okay. And then the last thing that I noticed on her page is that you need to talk about the things that make you, you. And we've talked about this multiple times on multiple calls, but you should all have about 5, 6 things that kind of make you who you are. There are things that are a regular part of your life that are important to you, your kids, your husband, your health and fitness, your coaching business, whatever it is. And so in this lady's description, like the description part of her page, it actually said that she is deaf. She's the mom of a service dog. And she has a husband and she has kids and a couple other things. And I instantly read that and I was like, I was very intrigued. I'm like, that is awesome. Like, she's deaf and she's the mom of a service dog. And I felt like that was something that was very unique to her. It's not something that you see all the time with coaches. You don't see a ton of coaches out there that are deaf. You know what I mean? So I was hoping to go to her page and see some stuff about that, kind of see how she lives her life being deaf. Maybe see some things about her service dog, you know, seeing those things that make her unique. And I didn't see anything about that. I didn't see anything about that part of her story. I think there was one picture of her husband. It might have been her husband through the tons of stuff that I filtered through. And then I didn't see anything about her kids. Now, I know that some people have different beliefs about social media. A lot of people don't like to put their kids on social media. A lot of people have husbands who aren't down with taking pictures with you. They don't want to be a part of that. And I get all that. But my point is, try to be sharing more about your life. Especially those things that make you unique, those things that are your story. Like for her, you know, it's being deaf. And I'm sure that she had to do a lot to overcome that. You know, I'm sure that life wasn't super easy growing up deaf, or I don't know if she grew up deaf, but that is unique to her. That's her story. That's something that she had to overcome and something that she probably struggled with that time. You know, for me, it's my childhood and the abuse and the drugs and alcohol and all that kind of stuff. That is unique to me. That makes me who I am. Everybody has something, and maybe it's not as drastic as being deaf or being abused as a child. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but there's something about you that's unique. So make sure that you're sharing about that. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump into what I wanted to do on this call. So when I went on my Diamond Retreat last year with Lindsay Matway, they kind of surprised us. Like, we had like this group get together where we all got together and had dinner one night and talked and did like team building activities. And they ended up surprising us at the last minute and letting us know that this was actually what we're going to do. And it's what I'm going to have you guys do tonight. So instead of us doing like our normal team building activities, what they did is they gave us all each other's Facebook profiles. So everybody was assigned one person. And we had to spend, I want to say they gave us 5 minutes. I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes. But what we had to do is we had to go on the person's profile that we didn't know. And in 5 minutes time of scrolling their profile, we had to write down everything that we could tell from their profile. And this was very eye-opening for me. So this was last year. It was when I was like in the midst of all the crazy stuff in my life. So I knew that my posting was kind of off a little bit. I was kind of like in a funk, in a tough part of my life. But there was a lot that was really eye-opening to me, because there was a lot of stuff that honestly, like, I would just forget to talk about. So sometimes when we've been doing this for a long time, we feel like we're being repetitive. And so we start to get away from those things that aren't comfortable to talk about. Because we're like, no, we're good. Like, we've mentioned it 3 years ago. Like, we're fine. You know, we talked about it 4 years ago. It's cool. But we have to remember that we continuously have new people coming to our page, and we're continuously inspiring or re-inspiring old people. And so we constantly need to be sharing our story. And that's not something that should like overwhelm you guys, because it'll kind of start to happen naturally. But what I got from doing this activity is that I was reminded that I need to remember to share all the parts of me, the comfortable parts and the uncomfortable parts. I am somebody that has no problem sharing about my health and fitness. That is my strong suit. I have no issue with it. I am also somebody that has a hard time sharing about my past and my childhood. It makes me very uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. It's not bright and cheery. And I don't share about it all the time because I don't feel like I need to or want to. But I have to remember to kind of touch on it sometimes because that's an important part of who I am now. And so the person that was doing my profile, what she kind of reminded me of, she said to me, you know, she's like, your life is perfect, Steph. She's like, you have an amazing husband. You have great kids. You've got abs. She's like, is there anything wrong with your life? And I was like, especially during that time, I'm like, well, yeah, actually there is. And in my head, I'm like, whatever, like, I talk about it. You're just not looking, you weren't looking for it. You know, you're just giving me a hard time. And I'm like wanting to convince myself that she's wrong. And then I went back and I looked through my profile and I'm like, wow, you really kind of are painting this picture that everything is perfect. And don't get me wrong. I am to the point in my life now where I do feel like at this point in my life is really, really great. Like there are very few things I can complain about. But that's not to say that I don't know what pain and struggle feels like. And I am where I am today because I went through all that pain and struggle. So I have to remember that I have to remind people that I'm not just some like, ooh, life is perfect and, you know, everything's great and I'm egotistical and blah, blah, blah. And I don't understand struggle. Because I'm portraying that my life is so wonderful. I have to remind people of where I've been too. So I have to remember to kind of share all parts of my story. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to assign you guys to each other and we're going to go through. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I want you guys to go through that person's profile page. However, so I want you to treat it like you're going to somebody's profile that you've never met before. You don't know the first thing about them. So let's pretend like they send you a friend request. So what do we do when we get a friend request and we don't know that person? We're like, who's this girl? Like, why are you requesting me? Let me find out about you. And you go to their page and you scroll through whatever to figure out who they are. So I want you to go to the person's page and I want you to do just that for 10 minutes. Like I said, they gave us 5 minutes, so I'm giving you guys a little bit longer. I'm making it a little bit easier. And I want you to write down what you can tell about that person because then we're going to go through and we're going to tell each other what we found because I think that you guys will find that it'll be eye-opening for you too. And I think that you might be like, oh, okay, so I'm not exactly portraying what I want to portray. I'm kind of missing a couple things, or maybe I'm portraying something that I don't really want to portray. Or maybe you'll be like, okay, posting's on point. That's exactly what I want my audience to see. So now I can quit stressing so much about that and maybe focus on something else. All right, so a couple things that I don't want you guys to do. I don't want you to get discouraged if you're like, that's not what I was trying to go for. That's why we're doing this. So we can kind of get an idea and move forward with it and fix it, okay? I also don't want you to tell yourself like, no, they just missed it. Like they missed that one post that I did. You know, don't try to tell yourself that the person reviewing you is wrong. And don't try to make excuses for your posting or what you're portraying, because I definitely did that. Like I said, when I was like, no, like I'm not portraying that. You're just missing these things. So don't do that. So what I do want you to dive in is what I do want you to do is I want you to dive in. I want you to take the information that the person gives you. And I want you to just make sure that you're portraying what you want to portray to your audience. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So this is just a little activity for you guys to kind of see from a different point of view what other people think when they come to your profile page. Okay, so I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I told you guys all in the post to make your Facebook public. And that's why. So if you aren't friends with the person, they can go on and they can see everything. If for some reason you guys absolutely need your Facebook to be private, I'm not gonna tell you not to do that. You can make it public for right now, and then you can go back in after this call and make it private if you absolutely have to. If you don't feel like you absolutely have to, I do encourage you to keep your profile public, and I've talked about why before. But all right, so let me see who we have on. I feel like we might be losing some people. All right, I want to kind of split you up with people that don't know each other. So hold on, let me look for a minute. If you can participate in the activity, can you put your face on so I can see you? All right, Courtney is doing her workout. All right, Courtney. Let's see, Robin, Carrie, Alicia, Leslie, I see you guys. Devin, Wanda, and Kaylee, can you guys do the activity? You can either take your camera off or take your microphone off and tell me, or if you can't, just reply to me in the chat and let me know. All right, so Wanda and Courtney. I think Devin and Kaylee can do it. I know that they were saying they were going to be able to be on. They probably just have stuff going on. Oh, looks like Kaylee's trying to log on from somewhere else.
Sorry, I was trying to log on my computer.
You're okay. I feel like Devin was on. Maybe the kiddos did something. Hold on.
There.
All right. I don't want to do it without Devin, but I don't know if she's busy. All right, we're going to skip Devin for now. Devin, if you can hear me and you want to jump on in the middle, we'll do it. I was also thinking we could do another call later on, guys, and we can kind of do this again. And for the ones that have already done it, it'll kind of just be like a nice, follow up to see where you're at now. So, all right, let's team you up. I've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm going to have to do one of you. Oh, Devin's here. All right, cool. We got 6. All right, so we are going to do, let's do Carrie and Robin. So Carrie Leonard and Robin Quick. I think you guys can see each other's names, right? So just go to each other's Facebook profiles. Let's do Devin and Alicia. Alicia, can you spell your last? Here, actually, I'll do it. You don't have to worry about it. All right, so Devin is Devin J, just like it's written. And then Alicia is Alicia Foster Spurr, S-P-U-R-R. And then Leslie and Kaylee. So your names are written like they are on Facebook. All right, go and find the person's Facebook profile real quick. Once you find their Facebook profile, just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you were able to find them. And then I'll set the timer for 10 minutes once everybody's ready to go. All right, Robin's good, Devin's good. Leslie, you're good.
I'm good.
All right, Kaylee's good. Alicia's good. Carrie, were you able to find?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Set timer for 10 minutes. Just kidding, hold on. set timer for 10 minutes.
Your timer is set for 10 minutes.
All right, go. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it. It wasn't quite 10 minutes. There was still like a little over a minute left. But honestly, I actually kind of feel like 10 minutes is a little too long. Maybe please go sit over there for a second. Get off of me. Because I feel like when people come to your profile, they normally spend about 5 minutes, somewhere in that range, trying to figure out who you are, what you're about, and if they like what they see. So I gave you guys a little bit longer, though, because I wanted you to be able to see it. I wanted you to be able to see more of what you're actually posting. So, Sadie, I need you to take the phone and go over there. No, that was equipment. Yes, it was. I'm going to type in one more thing, and then I need you to go over there before you get yourself in trouble. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go through the list and start picking people. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about your profile or anything like that tonight for the sake of time. I know all of you have things you got to do in the morning. You need to get off of here. So what I want to do is I literally just want to go through, everybody read their list. That way you guys all kind of know just what they saw and what their first impression was and what they gathered. And then you can kind of take it tonight and think about it a little bit more. And then maybe later on a different call, we'll actually kind of discuss it more. So, all right, let's see. Leslie, who did you have? You had Kaylee, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just go ahead and go through the list of what you found with Kaylee.
Okay. So no like critiques or nothing, just what I found.
Yeah, like I wouldn't spend any time like telling them necessarily what they could do different or anything like that, just because I feel like that would get too lengthy, but just kind of who is the Kaylee that you know from her profile, basically.
Okay. So Kaylee, I see that you are a boy mom. You're a new mommy. I put up top single mom because the only post I saw about you and your husband was on February 14th when I scrolled. It was like literally when she cut the time off. So I was going to say you were a single mom. Lots of inspirational posts. You eat really healthy. You work out every day. I see workouts, but I wasn't sure like what. Like I see that you're working out every day. Drink Shakeology. What else? Let's see. What did I write there? I don't know what I wrote there. Oh, eats healthy. And that you're organized. I was writing like critiques at the same time. So it's really boy mom. I thought you were single, very inspirational, eats healthy, drink Shakeology. That's what I got.
All right, so I just want to say real quick, Kaylee, don't be like, oh my gosh, you thought I was single. This actually reminded me. So the person that I was critiquing, or not critiquing, I keep saying critiquing. We weren't critiquing each other. But the person that I was reviewing, and you have to remember, I was doing this with a bunch of star diamond and above coaches. So we were a whole group of coaches that have been coaching for years. And we still were kind of like, oh, shit, like that's what I'm putting out there. So the lady that I was reviewing, I was actually like, so I think you might have been married, like you're divorced. And she was like, nope, I'm happily married. And I was like, oh, yeah, didn't get that. And she was like, holy crap. She's like, well, I should probably be posting more pictures of my husband. So she was like, wow, that's really crazy that like you thought I was like divorced and I'm like happily married. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out real quick, that sometimes we really like, I don't know, we think we might be putting it out there, or maybe we are, and the way other people see it might be different. So, all right, Kaylee, you can go ahead. I'm going to mute myself. You had Leslie too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I saw was very like energetic photos. She has a little boy. She's happily married. Very like inspirational. Just like a go-getter, because I see like very happy. I was looking through the different pictures and the different like posts that she posts, and everything looked really good, organized. I think that's about it. Just looks like she's having a good time.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you guys just remember too, like as we're doing this, just be thinking about, all right, am I really am I putting everything out there? Not saying that you're not, Leslie, like I'm just kind of pointing out what I'm thinking of as we go, but am I putting everything out there that I want to put out? Is there anything else that, that people should be seeing when they come to my profile? So those are just things that you kind of want to think about as we go. So, all right, Devin, since I'm looking at you, Devin, you had Robin, right? Or no, Alicia. All right, so Devin had Alicia, so I'll mute myself. You can go ahead.
All right, so I saw that she has a family and that she's a Christian. Into Disney. I saw a lot of wordy posts, but not a lot of pictures. Saw you have a baby girl. You like to share giveaways and to support like other small businesses. I did notice that you the last couple of weeks past that, as I kept scrolling, it would go days without anything involving Beachbody. That's about it.
All right, perfect. And like I said, guys, I really think this is like a good activity because even if you're like, okay, that's not exactly what I wanted to portray, well, now you can kind of be like, all right, so I'm doing good with that, but I can, put a little bit more of this out there. So, all right, Alicia, I'll mute myself and you can go ahead and do Devin.
Okay, I saw that I thought you were fun, enthusiastic, you love your family, fitness, Shakeology, and most of your posts are about fitness and your family, and I know you have 2 kids and you're married, and I liked how you shared your fitness page, which intrigued me to go to your fitness page.
Good observation. I like that. All right, Carrie, go ahead.
Okay, so I had Robin. I don't know, I couldn't see very much. I could see a lot of pictures of your family. And I know that you're a mom of 2 and a new mom at that, because I saw, I think it was January that you were only, I think, 4 months that you just had your kid. But family time is a big part of your life. I saw a lot of family pictures, a lot of going to the park or cleaning up the yard. And that you weren't afraid to share your struggles or your progress with your workouts. I see that I think you still work along with also doing Beachbody, but I didn't see many coach posts saying like you could actually like join me on this fitness except for one of them.
Good observation. Again, I like that. I think this is awesome. All right, Robin, go ahead.
Okay, I saw that she likes to drink Shakeology. She shares her fitness a lot. And she's very inspiring with her posts, her fitness posts. All of her posts, I felt an emotion based on her facial expressions and things that she said. She's very organized. She likes to food prep. She likes pets. She's engaged and very busy. Social life, part-time job, full-time job, planning a wedding, full-time college. She does not like going to the gym because she doesn't have time for it. And she's not afraid to hit pause during her workouts, but she always gets it done. That's one thing that really stood out to me, that she's not afraid to admit it. She's on her 80-day journey. I can't remember if I said she was engaged. I probably did. I think that's it.
All right, awesome. I don't know. I love doing this little activity. And like I said, I think we could do this again later on, you know, when we're like, all right, well, now we know a little bit of like what we kind of want to add more of, or maybe talk less about, or whatever. And then maybe like a month or so from now, we can go back in and do it again and be like, okay, so are we portraying that again? Because I feel like what we see through our own eyes of ourselves is always a little bit different than what we're putting out there or what other people see. So hopefully you guys kind of took something from this, and you're, you know, kind of thinking about something that you might be able to change or do more of or do less of. Or like I said, you're like, hey, I'm on point with what I want to put out there, so I can quit stressing about it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get off here because, like I said, I know everybody's got stuff they got to do in the morning. Thank you, ladies, for getting on the call. If you think of any questions or anything later on, just reach out to me or post in the team page. But this was fun. We should do stuff like this more often. I like doing this. So you guys have an awesome night, and I'm excited to see what you're adding to your page from this point forward. So I'll be looking for it. All right,
Thank you. Good
ladies.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Is this how it's